Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Rev It Up podcast, Rev It Up's Under the Helmet series, episode 13 now. We have a driver that has 19 events on the season, 2 wins, 9 top 5s, 17 top 10s, and 2 wins at the Winneshiek Raceway, finished third in points at the Winneshiek Raceway, and that's Dawson Kleiboer. And Dawson is from Decorah, Iowa. But before we get to the interview with Dawson, let's hear from some of our great partners here at Rev It Up. This podcast is brought to you by the Cresco Speedway. The Cresco Speedway's Labor Day Classic is set for September 6th. They will have 7 featured classes. The featured class is the Tri-State Late Models, the best, the baddest late models out of South Dakota, Nebraska, Iowa, and Minnesota. Also, USRA Modifieds, USRA Stock Cars, USRA B-Mods, USRA Hobby Stocks, USRA Tuners, and Eco Mods. USRA points awarded. Gates open at 5 o'clock, hot laps at 6. Grandstands $25, pits $30. Bring a friend, bring your neighbor, bring everybody to the fastest track in Northeast Iowa. We'll see you at the races. Are you looking for speed on the track? Well, I have a solution for you. And that solution is Ragex. Get a hold of Harley Dice or Jake Tim today. They make B mods and A mods. And the best thing about Ragex is they don't just give you your car and send you off. They give you technical support with everything you need. And they're racers too. They'll help you throughout the season. So find your speed with Ragex chassis. You can find them at Ragex on Facebook. Let's get into Rev It Up now. Well, let's get back to Rev It Up's Under the Helmet now. Dawson, how's it going today?
Pretty darn good. How about you?
Good. You say you're going out racing tonight. Where are you going?
I think we're planning on Mississippi Thunder. It's Friday. It's sun shining. I don't know what else you can ask for. We're going friggin' racing.
Yeah, Mississippi Thunder. That's one of the most picturesque tracks around here. You can say with the bluffs in the backgrounds. Somebody from around here, that's one of the places to go to. If you're not really a race fan, you just want to go sightseeing during the day, you can go there and then go to the races at night.
Yeah, I got a couple boys. My pit crew guy, Austin Snow, and I know Robbie Michaels. He likes to lick the windows on the way up there. But other than that, yeah, it's a great track up there.
So you've been up there before, or is this one of your first times up there with being from Decorah, racing there weekly?
We've been up there a handful of times. We're starting to get the track figured out and hopefully get quicker and get it done.
So you're going to run the Eco Mod up there, I suppose. You're not going to jump up to the B Mods?
Well, we were thinking about the modifieds, but we just figured, I don't know, we don't have the good tires for tonight. So yeah, we'll stay in the Eco Mod.
Well, I suppose on September 6th, you could probably run the modifieds at Cresco if you want.
Hey, if you start, what is it to start? It's probably a pretty good check just to start. Make a lap and pull off and call it a night, right?
Oh, I suppose maybe go out there and throw a slider, and maybe, I don't know, everybody else will hit the slime and spin out and collect themselves, and you'll be the one left.
Hey, we can only wish for that, right?
Yep. So the first question I have for you is, how's the season been going so far?
Season's been, compared to last year, night and day difference. We took the car down to Dirt Dueler where the car was manufactured, and the guys down there are significant help. They've done a great job, and they're great people to work with. Got the car kind of figured out, and, it's the second year under my belt, so then we went out there and we got to win the second night out, and just kind of, like I've been telling everybody, we got to find the boundaries of the car. So we had to find too loose and too tight, and then, find the middle ground of that. And I think we did just that. We tried just about anything in the car and learned. And part of racing, you got to figure out what your stuff's doing. And I think we're getting there.
So you mentioned better than last year. Place finishes with 9 top 5s and 17 top 10s. Were you sniffing the victory lane last year? Did you make it to victory lane with 2 wins, or was this year your first career wins?
This year was the first career wins. I think the only sniffing I got of the victory lane was when I went by on the tow truck or whatever it was. Last year we got 3 nights on the open motor and blew it up in Fayette. So we said, the heck with it. We threw a crate in it from GM, and ever since it's been great. And I think the 602 crate drives in the Eco Mod class I mean, it's not a huge part of it, but Ecomod, it's just a equal class. It's hard to kind of cheat out the cars or anything like that. So everybody's competitive, equal, and it's just good racing.
You know, with your first career wins this year, I don't know if you're familiar with Todd Narvis, the announcer at Deer Creek, but he says Victory Lane's a special place to a lot of drivers. How special is Victory Lane with for your first time this year?
I mean, it's Victory Lane. It's everybody wants to be there, but yeah, I've been fortunate enough to see like my whole crew, and I actually had family come down from the stands, and yeah, it's kind of like heaven on earth, and you always hope to park it back on the concrete the next week, and it lights a little fire underneath you. If you got a tough year, we've had a couple guys that we've helped and stuff like that. They've had a tough year, and you get in Victory Lane, that lights that fire, and you just want more and more and more, and you're never full of it.
So, second question I have is finish third in points at Decorah. What goes into a full season of running points and finishing that high up in the standings at a track that's pretty competitive in the eco mods?
A wise man, Robert Michaels, once told me races are won in the shop, and I think that's got a lot to do with it. Like I said, Austin Snell is my main crew guy, and he's there. He's there if I'm not there. He's there if I am there. He's always there putting in time, and we've got endless hours and tires and setup and just maintenance and all. I think we put like 2 or 3 hours into our pit vehicle the other night. That was kind of pointless, but it's just hours in the shop, knowing your equipment, just trying to make yourself better, and that's what goes into the season. And to keep up with Skylar and all them, it's just that's the best thing you can have. Get a bunch of good racers in there, and then we all make each other better, and it's just a good time.
So you, with a third place finish, you went every week. How is it just the grind of getting there every week? Does that get challenging with keeping up with the maintenance on the cars? What are some of the things where you just have to keep an eye on constantly to make sure it doesn't fail?
I'm fortunate enough to be 20 minutes away from our shop is 20 minutes from the track. So it's an easier drive than some of the guys. I know Brent Shorkey's got a pretty good drive, and he's finished second. So a little easier for me, but it's competitive racing. I guess we had a couple, we didn't finish a couple nights because of accidents or whatever happens, and that's a big part of the points deal, and just consistent runs and running good, obviously. And then when it comes to maintenance on the car, just the smallest things, bolt checking. You go through and check all your bolts, and you find some bolts loose. You find loose motor mounts or transmission bolt. It's just small things. You don't pay attention to, and it's going to cost you quite a bit of money down the road if you don't watch it. So,
how did you start your racing career?
Depends on how far back you want to go. I know I was ripping around in a golf cart in Mabel when I was a kid, but after that, we got a go-kart up in Canton, Minnesota, when they had that track there and right next to that little gas station there. That's kind of when that all started for me. Me and Kaiser Soini and Robert Michaels, and I didn't know them all at the time, but I know Dale Schwaman, I think, was up there. Ashton Pink Cow. Robert Michaels, I think he was up there. I think I said him. Bryce. Fairchild Boys. There's a bunch of people that it's just a small world that I'm all super close with and have relationships with now in the racing that we could have had back when I was just a wee lad running around in go-karts.
So then you took the step to an eco mod just this past year?
Yep, we went from go-karts, and then I graduated high school and wanted to get in a car and got in a bigger car, and eco mod was kind of the bread and butter of, not as expensive, and everybody's pretty green still, so the competition's closer. So yeah, Ecomod was a very good choice.
So you mentioned racing a golf cart. Did you ever race anybody in a golf cart?
We try not to, but sometimes in the pits, you get offered $20, and that's a brat and nachos. You got to take that. You got to win. You can't be a loser.
So what's the science behind racing a golf cart?
I can't share that. That's disclosed information. But we get off the air, we'll talk about this.
So you mentioned brat and nachos. What's the best track food around here?
I guess that's kind of a lie. My mom packs my lunch every night, and I am very very thankful for it. It could be frozen pizzas. It's got to be stuffed crust. I won't eat anything else. Tombstones are horrible. Sometimes we'll have Sour Patch Kids. We always have Sour Patch Kids. Got to have that. I know Joe Fairchild, bless her heart, she'll make us some chicken dip. You can't sell that stuff for enough money. And then sometimes I know last weekend Riley Snow got us some Mabe's pizza. It's just a treat, and we stay well fed.
You know, that's a smart idea. Packing something to eat at the racetrack, especially if you're there every week. You know, by the time you go to the concession stand, you could probably buy a couple of tires by the time you spend all that money at the concession stand every year.
You're gosh darn right. Yeah, we gotta save all the pennies where we can because racing is. I heard it was cheap, and I was wrong.
So how did you kind of touch on deciding on the eco mod class, but how did you decide on the eco mod class and not a hobby stock or a tuner or another class?
I don't like fenders, so I'm like, we got to get in the mod. I hate fenders, so chopped their front fenders off, and we got them modified, and away we went. And mods are cooler, anyways. In my perspective, you gotta hike that sucker up and just rip the lip, and away you go.
Well, you do that a lot. You get up to the top side a lot. You think it's an advantage up there? Sometimes you're up there when nobody else is. You get up to the top side and just rip it up there. You Do you like it up there, or what? What's the logic behind that?
Everybody everybody likes to run the lip, as sometimes you hit the wall, and I've hit the wall multiple times, and some guys' motors, their cars can't run up there, and Skylar's running up there a little bit, and he knows it's fast up there, so we both kind of ran the top up there, and it's just, you just kind of got to put him on the dash and hold on and hope it doesn't, and hope you don't jump the cushion, because we've done it, but body paint will straighten out, so you live and you learn.
To someone who that has never raced before, what are all the things you have to do behind the wheel just to get the car to move, and behind the wheel to race, and to keep both feet moving, and what are some of the things you have to do?
It's funny you asked that. I've had a couple kids actually ask me, how much is it to get into racing? And well, you need a truck and a trailer to get you there. You need tools to work on your car, and then you need a car. And it's a lot of money. I'll give you that. And you're spending a couple $100 a week, and that's if you don't wreck anything. When we started out, we were wrecking stuff left and right, and my dad and Austin, they're just like, dude, you got to quit wrecking stuff. And that's all I've ever known is just drive until you wreck it. And it's how you learn, I guess. And I'm still learning. I'm still wrecking stuff, but it's, I don't know, for a new driver, save your money and probably not get into racing. But I mean, we all love racing, so go out and buy one. You won't regret it.
Well, so what are some of the things you have to do behind the wheel? You have to push on the gas, but everybody knows that. You just can't put the pedal to the metal. You have to feather the throttle. And what are some of the things you have to do behind the seat that some of the people don't see?
Oh, oh man. I mean, when it's tacky and we get 8 inches of rain before like a race day, yeah, you could skinny pedal down, put that sucker to the firewall, it hammer down. But that one night we were after like late models or something like that, and it got real rubber slick. That showed everybody's talents there that night. Where it got slicked off, and you did have to feather the throttle a little bit. Trail braking's a big thing that I had to learn. I didn't know how to do that starting out, and then once I got the trail braking thing down, that really helped. And then figure out your biases for your brakes and see what the car likes and try to get the car set up where it's just easy driving and you're not fighting it all the time. That's just, there's so many keys to the lot there. You got to try to figure out and get it to go.
Now, you and Robert Michaels are called Shake and Bake, I hear. Where did that ever come from?
Um, I I'm not really sure, but we've been in high school all over. I think we've been in elementary and high school. I don't know. We've been together for as long as we can remember, and it's just kind of been me and him. We're just fighting our battles, and we're out in the football field or wherever. We both get our bells rung. We got up, gave ourselves knuckles, and shake and bake. Let's go do it again. And there's a rumor going around. There's another horse in the stable of the Shake and Bake team. So I guess on your podcast here, we'll be looking for names for Shake and Bake or Shake, Bake and Burnt. I don't know. We got another car in the stable, so we're going to have to figure something out for the Shake and Bake race team.
Maybe I don't know. On Talladega Nights, who was the French guy? Maybe you could call him the French guy, the kind of the outsider that joined.
Ooh, yeah, San Frisco or whatever. I don't know what his name was. Good idea.
So Michaels, is he working out of your shop? Do you guys work out of the same shop and stuff?
On occasions we'll go to one shop and work out of it, but he's got his own place, and then I've got my own, and we kind of keep the cars in their separate spots. But either there'll be nights where we'll be working on his, and all hands will be on his, and then there's other nights we'll be over and working on mine. And he just blew his motor that expired last Saturday, so I'm sure we'll be all hands on with that sucker to hopefully get her up and going for Cresco. Because I don't know, I'm not sure what he is with Cresco, but I love the track. The track's fast, and you just can't beat it. So we'll see if we can get his mill up and going for Cresco for the last race of the year.
So if it's you and him coming down the line for, say, I don't know, the Cresco Fair race coming down the line, and Hovey is behind you in third, or would you give him a little fender for the win?
Put a donut on his door?
Yep.
Yeah, I would definitely do that. I ain't gonna take him out. No, I'm just kidding. I don't mean to wreck Robbie, and Robbie never means to wreck me. And I mean, I could absolutely wipe him out. I'm gonna get out and I'm gonna say it's a racing deal. No, no. We try to be clean racers. We're racing for. I've heard it so many times here. We're racing for $150. We're not going to go wreck somebody's racing deal for $150.
So you say you have a dirt dueler. Kind of a resurgence with dirt duelers here in the last couple of weeks, with you picking up some wins, Mike and Iverson picking up some wins, and some wins in the Wissota. What would you say to somebody that might be looking towards a dirt dueler?
Highly recommend them. They got a great service program. Like I said earlier in the year, this last year in the off season, we took it down there, and Adam Leonard's and Les, they're all great guys down there. They're willing to help you, and Adam's got some sort of cell phone deal, or you can call him between certain times, but if it's like Sunday morning before 9, better not call him. But no, they're great guys down there. They have a great team. They have great cars. They're safe cars, and they're proven to winning cars.
So taking it back, did you have any family in racing, or are you a first generation racer?
Thinking back, I didn't really have family that raced. My dad helped his buddy in high school, and actually when I was younger, me and my buddy, his dad, they all kind of raced, and we'd all go to the track and kind of hang out at the track and stuff. But for the most part, we never really had a car in the family until now.
So what made you decide that you wanted to take that step and become a racer?
It's kind of all we've ever done. And it's, what are you doing on a Saturday night? Let's go to the racetrack, And I personally, I can't watch races. I hate watching them. But you get a wheel in my hand and a pedal underneath my foot, and I'm all for it. I love racing. I'll watch it, but if I can drive it, I'm going to drive it. I'd rather drive than watch.
So when you were younger, going to the racetrack, who did you grow up idolizing?
Back then it was Pete Solom, and obviously the Hovden brothers. They're always fun to watch. The Domlins, Kevin's been a big help in my racing career so far, and we watched him throughout our season or growing up as a kid. And trying to think of who else was kind of in there, but yeah.
What are some things that you kind of keep in the back of your mind that you might note from watching them do to what you might try to emulate in your racing career?
All those guys have totally different driving styles, so I've tried to pick their brains on different ways to attack the track. And some guys struggled on the rubber slick and others thrived on it. So I was trying to get ideas and things to try on the track. So when it comes down to the line, I kind of have an idea on what to try, and if it doesn't work, move on to the next checkbox.
What's your favorite event on the racing season and why?
When you ask that, are you saying
Like
which one?
like a race night. Like, what's your favorite race night? Like a place or a night or
It's got to be between the two wins. I'll give you that. I think the first one we got lucky. I think on the win, we got lucky in the first one, and then we chased Skyler week after week. We just tried to run him down, and he was a fast car. And that win we got, second race of the year, that second win we got was just big. It's just we knew we could do it. Like I said, it lit that fire underneath our butt again, and that was probably the night. My mom and girlfriend, they're all down there, and my whole crew, they come out just a smiling, and it's just heaven on earth.
what's your worst memory in racing and what's your best memory in racing so far?
Oof. The first one that comes to mind, I guess, is when I just blowing up the motor. That was all right. Probably when I spun out in Cresco and I dinged up Braden Schaffenbeel's car a little bit. I felt freaking horrible about that. It was just rookie me coming out of 4, and it was slick, and I freaking spun her out, tried to save it, and freaking wrecked 2 cars that night. And I was just like, that didn't need to happen. He didn't want that to happen. And Braden was great about it. He's a great racer. He was great about it, respectful. All that. And then probably the favorite memory, there's so many of them, just the wins, and then coming back to my pit and seeing everybody. If you're down in the pits, you've probably seen it. There's 30, 40 people hanging around. It's just one big family, whether you're in my pit or you're across the pit gates. It's one big family. It's a big racing family, and you can't beat it. You don't find this anywhere else.
Talking about Cresco, September 6th, the Labor Day Classic. What's your sales pitch to somebody that's never raced Cresco before to come on out to race?
There's less banking and longer straightaways, so hammer down and you get into the corners, shut her down, and I don't know. We haven't really figured out Cresco either. We've been there total probably 5 times, 6 times. So we're still learning on it, and I just hammer down, drive as hard as you can.
What's the plan for the rest of your season?
We're just gonna bounce around, finish out the eco mods around here, and I think maybe try to go down to Chateau one more time, and then maybe go to B mod and jump around a little bit there. I know we did a little bit of B mod this year, and it went good down at Deer Creek, so that was fun. And like to, one day we'll probably go to B mod, so as we get our feet wet.
That moves me into my next question. What's the goal for your racing career?
I'm 21 years old. I'd like to buy or build a house someday, and racing is an expensive hobby. So I don't want to slow down racing at some point, but I'd like to keep the car, and one day when I have kids of my own, have them racing and start go-karts and work the way up. And I hope to keep the whole racing thing in the blood as far as I live. It's like I said, it's one big family. It's a great thing to have. It teaches you lessons. It makes friendships, and it's a crucial part of life.
If you could race in one class, like a just kind of like an exotic class, like a sprint car, a big block modified, a NASCAR. What would it be?
Ooh. Um, if I had the chance to try them all, I would absolutely do that. But people say the amount of traction you gain in like a super late model, that'd be kind of sweet. If I could get one of them suckers, I gotta find a big old sponsor, but that'd be sweet.
So, where can fans find merchandise for the 32K?
We normally get our stuff through Kelly Printing and Signs, and we post on Facebook on when we do it. We normally do orders here and there, but the car will be getting a new body and wrap next year, so we'll get new shirts for the new design and all that stuff, and probably try to get that out just before race season starts. So after snow's gone, we'll kind of get something fired up and on the agenda.
You talk about snow. How cool would it be if some of the tracks around here would open up and do like snowmobile racing or something during the winter months?
It'd be a good revenue, tracks are, it's hard and hard, it's getting harder and harder for tracks to stay up and running, because everything's just costs so much nowadays, and it'd be a good little deal to keep some revenue going with money, and gets other guys to, I don't know, stay in shape in the off season, or gives everybody something to do. And yeah, it's that, or throw some snow tires on the mods and let's go do eco mods in winter. I don't know.
Who are the supporters of the 32K for sponsors and people that help out?
Oh, the list is too long to name. The biggest ones are my parents. They help me out just a ton with this car. I can't thank them enough. And some days it goes, they probably think this kid's just a mean, grumpy bullshit, But I can't thank them enough. Austin Snell, he's my big crew guy. The Michaels, they all helped. I can name off all my sponsors if you want me to, but and take a little bit.
Go ahead. It's your show.
The Front Expedition Archery, Serenity Fitness, Arms, RC Tire, Def Leonard Realty, Iowa Corned Beef, Upper Iowa Rimshine, Ryan Custom Homes, Snell Farms, Snell Fencing, Label Habitat, Donlin Race Wraps, STS Plumbing and Heating, the Miller Boys, trying to think of that right rear quarter panel, Nearling Custom Farms, Little H Express, and just one more. I can't remember which one it is. Uncle Eddie, he's a big one. He helps out a ton, and then I got a couple new ones coming on for next year. So just everybody know that I appreciate all their help, and the sponsorships do not go unnoticed. They help out a ton. So.
All right, that will do it for this Rev It Up Under the Helmet. Thank you, Dawson, for joining, and a little late notice as just kind of filled in for this week. I had you on the schedule for next week, and I had somebody for this week, and they said, well, they actually couldn't make it this week, and I'm like, well, I'll try to move you up, and you were able to move up, so that was great. Thank you for that.
I appreciate it. Good things come to the ones who wait, right?
Yep. But good luck tonight, and hopefully you have good luck the rest of your season.
Appreciate it. We'll see you in Cresco.
Thank you guys for listening to Rev It Up's Under the Helmet. That was Rev It Up episode 13. You've been listening to Rev It Up. To keep more up to date with Rev It Up, like, subscribe, and head over to Facebook and follow Rev It Up Podcast. You've been listening to an edition of Rev It Up.